Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Dave Burris.
Here.
Randy Graham.
Here.
J.R. Huddleston.
Here.
Deborah Johnston.
Here.
Bill Lukens.
Here.
Craig Romy.
Present.
Gary Telkamp.
Here.
Linda Varvel.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. While we're doing the roll call, I'd like to welcome Rebecca, our new Assistant Finance Officer, with us tonight. Hopefully we make it exciting enough you'll want to come back. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remember, conflict of interest items, Council. If you have anything that you feel is conflict of interest, please let the rest of the council know before you vote. Can I get a motion to approve an amended agenda? We're adding new business item K, a special sale alcoholic beverage license application from CS Inc., doing business as Winner's Circle, for the Taste of Hot Springs Chamber Awards banquet event to be held at the Mueller Civic Center, 801 South 6th, on March 14th, 2026.
I make a motion to approve an amended agenda, adding item K, which is amend the agenda to add new business item K, a special sale alcoholic beverage license application from CS Inc., doing business as Winner's Circle, for the Taste of Hot Springs Chamber Awards banquet to be held at the Mueller Center, 801 South 6th Street, Hot Springs, on 3/14/26.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve an amended minutes from the February 17th council meeting?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the minutes on the 6 o'clock p.m. public hearing and to strike out is expected to begin in late April with initial homes completed by October, and insert is planned to start in April and hopefully be completed in October. Breaking ground on the first home will begin following construction completion in October. And that was a statement made by Mike Tony.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to our claims. Can I get a motion to approve the bills in between?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills in between for $221,598.53.
Second.
Yeah, I think Linda got in first. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the current claims?
I make a motion to approve the current claims of $350,154.10.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And our last claim, can I get a motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit card claims?
Make a motion to approve Wells Fargo credit card claims for $11,768.20.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, sir. On first page, Wells Fargo credit card, 3 pairs of jeans. Does all departments get that or just the sewer plant? Somebody have an answer for that?
This was just the sewer plant employees. It was discussed at admin finance maybe a month or two ago. They brought the case that because they work in a dirtier environment, they go through hundreds of dollars of pants, and we're asking for just a small amount, and they plan to adjust within their budget for this year. And we'll be reevaluating that for next year's budget.
I got a problem with this. Sorry. I don't know if anybody watches when they put in sewer lines and stuff for that problem. Every department's there working on it. So why are we just okay in the sewer department and do that? Question number 2, why did we buy them all brand-new hip waders this year to go over their pants if we need new pants and new hip waders?
I would say that you're right. They probably do all work in the sewer when we're installing a sewer line. And if granting pants to the streets crew and the water crew is something you guys want to do, you sure can. We approved it for wastewater because they approached us with the need.
I agree, if they're helping, they should get pants if they're wearing them out. I don't know why we're buying pants for these guys when every one of them got a brand-new pair of hip waders this year to go over their pants to work in ditches.
I believe they wear the waders when they're working in the product, but it's still a dirty plant, I guess. You can kneel on the floor and
Why wouldn't they wear them in
ruin
the
your
ditch
pants.
too if it's muddy?
I'm sure they're wearing them in the ditches as well.
Well, I just, okay. I guess I'll talk about it budget time.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The motion passes. Communications from the public. Is there anyone that'd like to address the council tonight?
Robert Paul, 1327 Schofield Street. I'm not here to speak for or against, but I would like to see some clarification concerning the TIF for Cascade Hills. Can I address those questions at this time, or should I wait until we have the resolution come up?
Why don't we wait till the resolution, and we'll include everybody's questions at that time.
Okay, so the resolution will be like a public hearing also?
It's not a formal public hearing, but the folks are here to address any questions that council has.
Okay, so there will be ample
So
time.
because I would just ask that you would ask your questions during the public hearing, or not the public hearing, but when
During the resolution.
council's addressing the other questions.
Okay, very good, thank you.
You bet.
Ben Sharp, 28290 West Flagpole Road. You guys probably recognize me. I'm coming back to once again bring attention to the council of progress on the issue of the uranium mining process that's going through for Craven Canyon. We went to Pier for the last hearing where they were supposed to rule, they allegedly were going to rule on the appeals, including appeal against their arbitrary decision to deny having the hearing hosted here locally, even though you all and the county commissioners came up with the money to do that. There's another appeal that strikes, that forbids anybody to make reference to the public referendum that declares uranium a public nuisance in Fall River County. So those are two issues that are directly of relevance to this board. You know, if you're standing up for a local democracy and the will of the citizens, which you are, and we very much appreciate the unanimous stance you've taken on that. Frankly, this board the Minerals Board is acting as if they don't have to follow any rules and there's no accountability whatsoever. They scheduled the hearing where they were going to rule on those appeals without actually scheduling a hearing. There was no formal notice given. It wasn't put on the contested fixtures list. It was only announced on their own internal website, and we only got wind that they were even having this hearing sort of through the grapevine. And then when we showed up to contest that procedurally, they said straight to our faces, the fact that we showed up means we waived our right to due process and to be notified as if this was actually a legal fixture. I bring this to your attention because basically this is a fixed game, and they are acting as if without, as long as they don't have any scrutiny, as long as nobody knows what they're doing, they don't have to follow any procedures at all. We did manage to corner them on a few legal issues, and they went into this sort of secret session and came back and said, okay, we'll come back and follow the rules next time. And now that the appeals will be heard at a formal hearing on the 18th of March. The reason I've come back to here is because they've made it clear that they think that as long as they tick their boxes, they can get away with anything. And this is no longer, as far as I'm concerned, a legal process. this is a PR or a publicity process. If they get scrutiny, they might actually feel they need to listen to us meaning the citizens of the county. But they already know that all of us interveners, they're treating us as if they can ignore us. What I would like would be, once again, and I understand we've asked for this before, and you guys have been great, and I hate to be a pain coming back and asking for things again, some kind of very clear statement from the city council that it's unacceptable that the Minerals Board thinks that they have no obligation to even consider the will of the people of Fall River County. They're overruling two democratic processes, one to come up with the money to have the hearing hosted here at Mueller Center, and the other one for the public referendum, and they feel like they can get away with it. Ideally, I would like to offer you, Bob, a ride to Pier on the 18th of March and let you look them in the eye and say, if you think you're going to run road over top of the citizens of Fall River County, you have another thing coming because we're paying attention. Now, I don't know if you can take the time out of your day or not, but we're going on the 18th of March, and if you'd like to come, I think it would get their attention. It would let them know that someone besides just those of us that they're writing off as expendable activists or whatever they think we are, that they think that they can get away with ignoring us. Maybe they can't get away with ignoring the mayor. If you're not able to do that, I would request that you write a letter, and I'll read that letter, and I'll say, this is a message from the citizens of Fall River County to you. You're not allowed to run over top of us, and we could help you with that or not. But I think they need to hear from us formally, and as does the governor, as does the attorney general. It's a farce. There's no democracy. There's no. They get away with breaking all their own rules. They also said they don't have to. They had earlier ruled in this process that there was no need to, or that there was no electronic service allowed. All of us normal citizens trying to participate in the case, calling witnesses, filing motions, have to send hard copies to 45 different people. But then they said when it comes time for them to actually rule on a hearing where they're actually going to make binding decisions, they can stick it on their website. And well, electronic service is just as good. Sticking it on their website is just as good. We didn't even get an email. So this is just to let you know, it's serious. The Minerals Board thinks they have big plans for this county, and they don't think we matter at all. And anything you can do to let them know that we're not going to go down without a fight would be really, really useful. And Bob, I'll talk to you separately, but I think showing up with the mayor would maybe get their attention. If not, showing up with a letter from the mayor would maybe get their attention. It doesn't have to say anything other than, we're not going to stand silently by and let you run over top of our county because you think that nobody's paying attention and you're all bought off by whoever they're bought off by. The other offensive thing about it, I know I've only got 5 minutes, I'm sorry. The only public official present in the entire process is a lawyer from representing the Department of Agricultural and Natural Resources. He sits with the mining company lawyer the entire time, and they strategize together. I asked him how it is that a public servant is actually acting on behalf of the mining company. And he said that the process is rigged before we know about it, is that they make their decision on the basis of material received from the mining company before the public is even aware that this is happening. And then once they've made their decision, his job is to support the decision. So I said, you've made your decision on the basis of information received from a foreign mining company before your own citizens even knew this was happening. And he says, yes, that's the process. And now he's an advocate, working taxpayer dollars, public lawyer, working with the mining company to push this thing through. Not a single other official from the DANR is even present. So procedurally, it's a joke, and my faith in government is pretty low, as you probably get already. But I have faith in you guys because you've been standing up, and I appreciate it. And so that's our request. If you could put this on the agenda for the meeting formally 2 weeks from today, I'll come back and I can talk to you about it in the meantime, see if there's anything possible. If we could have a letter, or if you would even come along to Pier, that'd be better. And I don't know what you guys need to do formally to make that decision. Maybe you can't make it tonight, but I'd like it on the agenda, and I'd like you to be able to make a decision in 2 weeks, because 2 weeks from now is our last chance. Thank you.
All right. Council, anyone have any questions for Ben? You want to hang on? Anyone have any questions for Ben?
Oh, sorry.
Has anybody from your group actually contacted anybody that's running for office right now to get any publicity on this?
We've been trying to reach out to different people. I don't know if we've got any traction with any governor candidates or not. That's definitely the next step. But right now, we're kind of on the back foot just trying to put in these appeals. I mean, for the next 2 weeks, our focus is going to be on trying to get the appeals overturned, or whatever, the appeals passed to overturn the arbitrary decisions, because the biggest thing is we need to be able to actually have a public hearing here, and we actually have to be able to allow to read evidence to that hearing, and the way that they're worded right now, all of the evidence will be stricken from the record before we even show up. But yes, we absolutely do need to be contacting governor candidates.
Do you know exactly what foreign country is actually backing this mining?
British Columbia, but I mean, do a bit of homework. British Columbia is owned by Chinese money. I mean,
That's kind of what I suspected, but I thought maybe you knew for sure.
Vancouver filled up with Chinese money about 2 decades ago, and now, I mean, my girlfriend's from there. Her son was the only white kid in class, and he's not even white, he's half Mexican. All of his classmates are Asian. Vancouver is only Chinese now, and that's where the money comes from. That's where the answer to.
Well,
So it sounds like the committee that's reviewing all this is bought and paid for already.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they behave. But yeah, I think they're not used to scrutiny. They act very offended that we even show up and act as if we understand rules of procedure and understand that we've read the law. They're quite taken aback by that. My impression, I mean, this is my first time ever getting involved in state politics. I hate politics. I hate government for the most part. But this is important. This is our home, and so I've gotten involved. And my impression is they have never expected people to even show up. They don't expect people to pay attention to what they're doing.
Ben, I have one follow-up question to Dave. Realize it's a Canadian company. Have you heard or have you seen if it goes through and there's actually production, where the material will go? Will it be sold to the U.S. Department of War? Will it be sold to U.S. energy companies? Or will it?
I don't think this country has the capacity to even process uranium very much anymore. We haven't built a nuclear power plant in this country in 50 years. There's probably not even any engineers that remember how.
But you don't know where the raw material will go?
They don't publicize that, and they certainly wouldn't advertise it because it probably wouldn't look good. I mean, at the scale of the country, Canada is very close to China now, and, you know, but honestly, I think this company, as soon as they're in production, they'll sell to a different company. They're a shell company. It's not like they're actually a big company that's produced minerals before. They're an exploration company. You know, they reform under a new name in order to limit their liability. Money is a slippery thing, and I don't have the sort of investigative skills to start tracking down corporate ownership and following those tendrils. I wish I did. But the company itself, I'd be very surprised if they actually stayed the company in charge if they move to a production phase. But it is the same company that's staked out or that has acquired all the other claims for the Forest Service claims. This is a state process, but that Forest Service process, which is over about probably 6 or 8 times as much physical area, and getting closer to Hot Springs. Now, some of their claims are in that big canyon country north of the Cheyenne and south of Highway 18. It's the same company, so they've got big plans, and they're talking about processing but the company itself it's a penny stock. It's a very low capitalized company. I would suspect that they wouldn't be doing this if they didn't know that somebody else was going to buy them out, or at least that some much larger company would take responsibility for the processing. And most American uranium is not even owned by Americans. So I don't know.
So from people that I know, they call them minerals tagging companies. They're formed, put together, they find minerals and they tag the minerals, and then it's off to highest bidder.
Yeah, and I think that's what we can expect. And again, if it wasn't British Columbia, I wouldn't claim to know where the rest of Canada swings. I mean, the federal government, they are close to China. But British Columbia in particular, there's just so much Chinese money. It runs that province. That's my expectation.
Anyone else?
I put in my comment.
Thank you.
So to your specific question, would I be willing to go? going as mayor, I can only, represent or state what council approves. I would be willing to do that. I'd be happy to do that if my schedule allows. We'll take a look at it. Do you have a proposed draft or statement that you would like council to consider? Have you put something together?
No, but I will put something together, and you can have that for you for when we're formally on the agenda 2 weeks from now.
If you could get that to me a little sooner,
No, for sure. I mean,
then
I understand that it has to go through.
I'll run it by, council individually and see whether they're on board with it. And we'll get together and meet and see what we're going to have, if anything, by the next council meeting.
Excellent. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you directly about potentially writing out there. I'll save you a seat.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Does anybody on this board have a problem with the mayor going, representing us?
I don't.
I don't.
I don't.
My name is Sarah Peterson, 510 Jennings Avenue, Hot Springs. From what I understand, this uranium will be Canadian. It will be taken back up to Canada, where I understand there's a uranium processing plant in northern Canada, and it is owned by the Russians. And the money that they get is Canadian. It's not ours. And the amount of money they pay the state to mine is pittance. So they're taking our uranium and taking it to Canada. It belongs to them. As soon as they mine it, it belongs to them. Okay? And, again, it's the highest bidder. So if we want that uranium back, if this country wants the uranium back, they have to be the highest bidder. And we are getting relatively nothing for them. Well, we're getting a lot. We're getting our land ruined, we're getting our water polluted, and they're, so often they go bankrupt and then they can't clean anything up. So they're punching, and they call it punching holes in the earth. And that breaks my heart. Our earth is not here, it's here to support us, not to be punctured by these big rigs. And it doesn't make any sense to me why America is supposed to be first now, and this is not America first. It's, we're the dumping, we're just going to be, it's going to be a dumping grounds. And I brought some more of those cards and talking points I'll put on the back, and that's for, you to comment on. The comment is due tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. So you have time. And even if, and this is for the people in the audience too, please, this isn't for the state land, this is the big, it's a nexus, but they want to do mining on the rim all the way around Craven Canyon. And so this is the Forest Service, what I'm talking about, the comment is Forest Service land. And that's gonna, it's just, I can't believe that, this is happening finally. But this is the same kind of process that PowerTech Encore has been going through too. They, and if they can get a permit, they can sell the lease off. These companies are called junior mining companies. And they just want to make money on anything they can. And they'll sell all the leases to other people that want to come in and mine. And I can't even express how awful this is. That they're doing, it's a very stressful thing for the people. We've been working against this for 14 years, and it just never stops. It calms down a while, but it never stops. It's hanging over our heads. And this is our land that the Canadians want to come and ruin. And, radioactivity is forever, comparatively. So anyway, please pick up the cards and the talking points, and that will give you some idea what this larger claim is. The state land is very small because it's on state school land, but the Forest Service is all the way around the canyon. And with the drilling and the vibrations from the drilling, the canyon walls can collapse. And we will lose the 7,000 world-class petroglyphs that are out there. There's 7,000 and they're 7,000 years old. And I think most people in this county know about Craven Canyon, and I don't want to see it damaged, and I don't want to have to move because of the pollution that this will all cause.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank you, Sarah.
much for everything you're doing.
Anyone else?
Can I make a statement as a citizen of the public? I'd like to, we have a wonderful park
Deborah?
system.
Would you go down there and make it, please?
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Really?
Deborah Johnston, 1023 Evanston Avenue. I just want to make a plea to the citizens of Hot Springs to pick up after your dogs in our park system. We have a beautiful park system and a very active sports activity programs throughout, and places like Butler Park are filled with children year-round, and Centennial Park has a lot of family gatherings and lots of events bringing in families. And I love walking my dogs everywhere too, and there's signs all over that says there's going to be a fine if caught. Well, we all know that's self-policing. And so I just really want people to go back where you were, take your bags, and pick up after your dogs. We do not need our children running all over dog poop. And we just need to take care of our parks a lot better, being dog owners. So please, do your citizens' duty and keep our parks clean from the dog do. Thanks.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Deborah, I appreciate that. Thank you. We had a former council member that wanted to make public statements on a number of occasions, and he went down to the microphone and spoke to council as a member of the public. We walk a fine balance when we're speaking, and in my opinion, we just need to make it clear whether we're speaking as a council person or a member of the public. And when we're dealing with city employees, it's even more important to make sure that they understand, or we understand, not they, that we're putting them in a very awkward position when we meet with them, and we should be seeking only information from them. So I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just wanted to make sure that we draw the distinction between when we're speaking as a council member and when we're speaking as public. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Sarah, you've had 5 minutes.
I don't want to take a couple seconds. There was a question asked to Ben about if anybody has contacted, an elected official. And the Oglala Lakota Tribe, or County Commission, did write a letter to Larry Roden about the venue situation. So, because there's 3 of the 2 counties, and then the city council are all involved in the venue. So yes, Oglala Lakota County Commission did write a letter to Roden.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the council? All right. Let's move on to our personnel actions. We have 2 groups of personnel actions. Before we get into each of them, is there anything, Misty, you could, you and I talked about highlighting, why we have 2 different groups before we get into them?
The first group, A through C, you have not seen before, and the impacts of the 40-cent increase, new business item you made at the last agenda are already included in these. The second group, the first 3 are the result of approving wage increases at the 2-2 meeting before council approved the additional 40 cents at the 2-17 meeting. So we're putting those back in front of you for the adjusted amount since they're not effective until after that 40-cent increase. So the amounts changed. And then just the acknowledgement of the wage adjustments for all full-time employees that are listed in the upcoming resolution.
Thank you. So if I could get a motion to approve the first group, A through C.
Make a motion to approve personnel actions A through C in the first group as listed.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And can I get a motion on our second group of personnel actions, A through D?
I make a motion to approve personnel actions A through D.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to our ordinances. Our first ordinance, item A. Can I get a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 1283?
Make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 1283, revising Title 15, Land Usage, Chapter 155, Zoning Code 155.004, Uses Permit on Review Daycare Facilities.
Second.
Deborah? Discussion? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Deborah Johnston,
Yes?
Linda Varvel,
Yes.
Dave Burris,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Bill Lukens.
Yes.
Craig Romy,
Yes.
Randy Graham,
Yes.
Gary Telkamp.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. And our second ordinance, item B, can I get a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 1285?
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance 1285, revising Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 155, Zoning Code 155.032F, creating a planned unit development titled PUD Number 3, Cascade Hills Subdivision.
Second.
Discussion? Misty, would you call the roll?
Randy Graham,
Yes.
Bill Lukens.
Yes.
Craig Romy,
Yes.
Linda Varvel,
Yes.
Gary Telkamp,
Yes.
Dave Burris,
Yes.
Deborah Johnston.
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. On to our resolutions for the evening. Can I get a motion to approve the first resolution, item A, Resolution 2026 2026-10.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-10, TIF number 4, Cascade Hills subdivision.
Second.
Discussion? So we talked about the TIF a little bit at the last council meeting in conjunction with the PUD, but it wasn't in front of you to actually approve the TIF until tonight. So we have a number of folks here to answer any questions that council may have, and one of our public, we have the folks from Jeremy and Georgia from Fall River Health Systems. We have Quinn with Colliers, and I think we have Mike with TUI Design. So if there's anything you folks would like to share, Quinn, you and I talked a little bit about the financing. If you could go through that maybe a little more in greater detail. We want to get it in front of the public once again, that there is no risk to the city financially, that the risk is all on the developer.
Yes,
so if you could just elaborate on that a little bit more.
Yeah. It's a, let me double check here.
Can the public hear? Quinn?
Yep. Good. All right. It's a, it's for the financing side of it. We got it for, let me double check those as well. Total TIF is 2.698 million. Estimating expiration date of 2041. That's pretty conservative. We expect it to be maybe a little earlier due to, assessed taxes on homes. The South Dakota Housing granted the project $1,159,000. This is essentially 1/3 of the project costs associated with the infrastructure portion of the development. It's an annual appropriation TIF. It doesn't affect your constitutional obligation or constitutional debt limit for the city, so there's no liability whatsoever for the city. It doesn't affect any future borrowing issues that you may do. To refer back to a question that I had for Mr. Burris, I know you had the question whether it's going to impact valuations on future or current homes.
Right.
I think I misinterpreted your question on my long ride home last time I was here. I was thinking about it, and I was, if this was something where, it was plopped down in the middle of town and there was homes all around it, they might get a residual impact of increase maybe, but overall the TIF's not going to have an impact on current home prices. So just to bring that up as well.
I appreciate that clarification, and to two conversations between then and now, I'm glad it's out in the open because that's actually how I interpreted it to them. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any questions specifically about the financing? I know we can get a little bit more in depth with it, so.
Council? Nope.
I think the main thing people in the community are wanting to hear whether or not this puts any burden upon them. And by you coming up tonight as we proceed with this, I think reiterates the fact that no, it does not.
In fact, if there's here's an example in the city of Aurora, they were redoing a water tower, and they were concerned about they were doing a TIF at the same time for single-family housing. And when you do a general obligation bond on something like that, not that you may, but they're based on user fees. So the more users you have, the less your payment is on your obligation per household. So there's no negative impact to any household whatsoever. So.
Thank you very much for that information.
You bet.
Haven't forgot about you yet, Bob. Jeremy, Georgia, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Just again, Mayor, Council, thank you for partnering with us. We're here tonight to answer questions. We're here tonight to answer questions that the public has or that the council has. asking for approval of this, and we're just here to answer questions, so appreciate it.
Bob, do you want to come down? I guess I'm overstepping, I'm sorry.
Well, we'll give Bob a chance.
Just to go back to what Quinn said, because we are looking at the sewer plant project. Once all of these homes are built and those customers are now tied into the sewer plant, any surcharge we then, the rest of us in the city have to pay would be reduced by some amount because we have potentially 51 additional users. Is that correct?
That's the way it
Do they
should.
reduce it as our users grow, or do we just pay down the debt faster because of that?
Or, okay,
Because
so
I
there,
don't know that it gets reduced.
I thought Jennifer told us they would look at it annually, what we've collected, and tell us if it's too much or too little,
so
and adjust our surcharge.
bottom line, adding 51 users will help us regardless of how it helps us. It will help us one way or the other. So it's a good thing for the city, not a bad thing in that respect. Thank you for that clarification, Misty.
Still haven't forgot about you, Bob. I want to give Mike an opportunity to update if you have anything.
I'd mirror what Jeremy said. Mike Toohey Design Group, and I'd mirror what Jeremy said. I could talk all day about the subdivision. If there's specifics you want to know, that's probably the easiest way.
Council? Okay. Bob?
As I had mentioned before, I'm not here to say yes or no. I'm just seeking some clarification. I'm not that fully aware of the full project and so forth, just what I have read in the paper. And we're looking at 10 acres, we're looking at 51 residential lots. This is going to be, the infrastructure is going to be financed by a TIF, which means, and this is where I'm seeking clarification, who is going to be the owner of these properties so that when the properties begin being sold, who are they buying them from? Fall River Health, a private developer, some other group? What would be the overall, is there an estimate on overall total assessed valuations once this project is completed and all these places are built? I understand with the TIF that the city and the county will be receiving property tax revenue based on the land assessment, not the dwellings. The dwellings themselves, the property tax money that is being charged and is being paid by the new inhabitants will be going indirectly to the county and then dispersed back to the developer/owner for the next 15 years or until the cost of the infrastructure or the TIF amount is repaid. But I guess my main point of clarity is for the next 15 years, once this project is done, the property owners of Hot Springs will be subsidizing the services that these new inhabitants for this area will be generating, police, fire, whatever. They won't be paying property tax revenues to the local governing bodies, but to the developer or owner or so forth. So in essence, for the next 15 years, property taxpayers will be subsidizing the services for this area? Question.
Quinn, do you have anything you want to offer on that?
Before you address that, I've just got one further thing. He had mentioned that there is no downside of this for the city, which is great. I know the city is not looking at any liability on this, but and there again, I'm not opposed to this because I understand we really need housing. But my concern is, we have all seen what assessed property valuations have done in this county over the last 5 years. And it's slowed down a little bit now, but if it takes off again, you know, even though this development may not affect my property, when I have questioned my assessments, I'm being shown properties that have nothing to do with mine, and yet my increased assessments are based on those. So, yeah, I am going to have to beg to differ, and it's just a matter of we're agreeing to disagree. Property valuations will be affected by this because as people look at their assessments, part of their assessments are going to be based on what these new properties are selling for. That has been how it's been done.
So maybe we can tag team a couple of those questions. Bob, again, my name's Jeremy Schultes. I'm the CEO at the hospital. I'm not a developer.
Jeremy, a little closer with the microphone, please.
All right, thank you.
Use your outdoor voice in here.
Thank you. I'm scratchy tonight. We'll try to tag team those questions a little bit. But again, I'm Jeremy Schultes. I'm the CEO at the hospital. And we stopped tracking the number of applicants that would apply for positions. And then they would look at housing cost and what was available, and they would decline the positions. We stopped tracking at 70 individuals that applied. Since then, we've probably had 70 more. And so to serve Hot Springs, the average age in Hot Springs is about 58 years old. And we need more younger folks, workforce-aged people to come and help us care for our community. So that's the reason we have really asked the council to support this project and this TIF. The state of South Dakota, through the South Dakota Housing Authority, granted that grant, and from what I've been told, they were pretty excited that Hot Springs was potentially going to take this on. So there will be pros and cons. I would say to respond to taxes and services being provided and maybe not being supported, I think that was one of your last questions, through sales tax, through generating additional income, revenue, economic development in the community. I know the hospital, we average about 30 positions being vacant at any given time. So if our community could attract a business into the community that would employ 30 people, as long as it was safe employment and not affecting the environment, I think we would be very interested in that. And potentially, if we could fill our positions, that's what it will do here in Hot Springs for us. In regards to ownership of lots, we have formed a separate 501c3 called Community Health and Development. Acronym is CHAD. So we have 5 board members on that board, and they will be making decisions on the sale, prices, types of homes, initially, because there will be a homeowners association that will govern what type of homes and the bylaws or the covenants of the property. So it is being done in an organized fashion. I question at this point, as the CEO at the hospital, I would like to see some of our staff members have access to some of those lots, and I don't know if that means 10 or 15 or whatever that number is. But myself as the CEO, I will reach out to our board to ask if the hospital could secure some of those lots. Beyond that, I would see those lots being sold to individuals that would like to either buy a lot, build a home, or contractors that would like to build a home and then sell the home. So that's how I see it unfolding or developing. Questions about that?
Who ultimately will be selling these homes?
Well, probably whoever builds the homes.
So they will be buying the lots from Fargo?
Probably from Community Health and Development, the 501c3. We need to keep that project. Developing homes is not a hospital mission. It's not a core mission that we have. So we need someone else to kind of handle that, and that is the Community Health and Development Board. And then you had a couple other questions, and I might rely on Quinn to answer those. Do you want to repeat those, Bob, just for clarity?
One question I do have is, what will be the property classification on these lots? Owner occupied, commercial?
So that will really need to be a CHAD decision. For instance, I do know, I think there's other workforce or affordable housing projects where maybe there was rentals or VRBO rentals that people bought and then used them as rentals. Our hope is that through our covenants, we can prevent that type of ownership. Really, this is affordable housing potentially for workforce in the community. So that is our goal.
So you're foreseeing 51 lots that are being owned by individuals?
That is correct. That is correct. There are, really what is designed, Mike Toohey has done a really nice job designing this, and before you leave tonight, I can share with you some information that you can take home and study and call me with questions. But 51 home sites, about roughly 20 of those home sites will be what we call plexes, or like row homes. And so the yards will be limited, walls will be shared, but about 20 of the properties will be that type of housing.
Bob, as you're asking your questions, can you share the microphone with Jeremy so that the audience and the folks who are watching this later hear your questions?
And the plexes, those will be individually owned or rented?
Again, Fall River Health and CHAD does not desire to be in the rental business. Our hope is that those would be sold. If there is a developer that would like to build those and lease those or rent those, that would be an option.
The TIF that is involved in this is to pay infrastructure only?
Yes, it'd be infrastructure only and an interest expense associated with that infrastructure, less the housing grant.
So none of the dwellings or so forth are covered under the TIF, it's just the infrastructure and the interest involved in the infrastructure. And if that were, if property...
Gotta speak up, Bob.
If property values were to increase and property taxes were to increase, is there a foreseeable circumstance that that TIF would be paid off earlier than the 15 years? So the TIF would last until the cost of the infrastructure plus interest is paid, or 15 years?
Yes. Yes, that's correct. We've got an estimated $17,235,000 worth of non-eligible TIF costs. That's directly associated with our estimated home construction costs. So that's what that is. So and if, say, the homes are assessed at higher value, yes, that would increase the pace of the TIF exponentially. So we have 15 years. If it's significantly faster, I mean, that could be 10, it could be 5, whatever. Unlikely 5, but it could be 10 for sure.
So then the only other real clarification that I was looking at was in the fact that under the TIF, the governing bodies, the county and the city, would be receiving that portion of property taxes based on the land assessment, whereas the developers or so forth would be getting the property tax revenue based on the dwelling assessments and so forth. Is that correct?
So the land amount that the city and the county and other entities may receive is, I want to say it's $124,000. That's the base value. So with a TIF, you have to find a base value. This one's $124,000. The city and the county still receive the taxes off of that $124,000 worth of base value. Everything above that, that's the homes, the improvements that are made. Everything above that is where the developer's receiving that to offset those costs over time, right? Does that make sense? They're not going to receive, the city and the county and the other entities are only receiving the taxes off of the base value, which is right now 124 grand. That won't increase.
For 10 acres of land.
Yes. That's the county's assessment on that land. It's 124,000.
Approximately 10,500 that I'm being assessed on for acres.
That's the value. That's not the tax amount, that's the value of the land.
Yep,
That's what I'm talking about.
that's the assessed valuation. I can't speak to what your assessments are.
That's the value of the land.
Anything else?
No, the only other thing that I wanted to clarify, and I think we did, is that the taxpayers, the property owners of Hot Springs will be subsidizing the cost of services for the next 15 years on the homes on this property.
Anyone within the district.
Because the property tax being generated. I gotta get a drink. Will not be going immediately to either the city or the county.
Correct. Anyone within the development, so on those 10 acres, not anyone outside.
Everyone within that 10 acres that owns property there will be paying property tax.
Correct.
Just like all the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
But the property taxes that they are paying are not going to the same
Correct.
governing body that the taxes that we are paying.
Yep.
Our property taxes are going to the city and to the county, and they are paying for basic services and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
These people that are buying in the development for the next 15 years are not paying into those governing bodies for the cost of services that they are getting. The rest of us are subsidizing those services for them and help us difficulty incurred.
Well, today and yesterday, they were still only paying taxes on that 100,000, 124 today. Tomorrow, and when this TIF is expired, they'll be paying taxes on an estimated 17 million. And that those will go to the city in the future, once the TIF's expired.
Once the TIF is expired.
So what we can say is this project wouldn't happen but for the TIF. So then we wouldn't have that extra $17,235,000 in taxable assessment without the development.
I am understanding. And like I said, I'm not saying either that I'm opposed or in favor. I'm just using clarification.
Okay.
And what I am picking up is that my understanding that once this development is done and it's constructed, and the homes are being sold and the taxes are being sold, the property taxes that the new owners are paying are not immediately going to either the city or to the county, but will cover the cost of what the development and what the construction and so forth of these were until the TIF
Expires, correct.
expires.
That's correct.
Okay. So for that period of time, the services that these people will be getting will be subsidized by the rest of us in the community that are paying property taxes.
Excuse me, can I interject something? Because I think I see where Bob's coming from, but, and you've sat through enough budget hearings, Bob, I think you understand where the city's revenues come from. So the subsidy that I think you see in your mind is not 100% subsidy, because our general fund is about 50% sales tax and about 50% property tax.
Actually, this last budget, it was a little bit more in sales tax than it was the property.
Right, so it's not a full, sales tax, by being here in Hot Springs and being citizens.
County,
Yeah.
they rely much more on property.
Yes,
taxes
so-
than the city does.
But I think I understand where you're coming from, and the answer is probably, yeah, somewhat. Is that fair?
And I'm hoping that people are not misunderstanding, because I'm not opposed to this. And I'm not saying that, let's go for it. I'm just seeking in my own mind what this is going to mean to me and the other coalition members
of the property of the owner-occupied taxpayers that I deal with in the community will be seeing for this. And for the next 15 years, the property taxes based on the land value of this development will be going to both the city, the county, ambulance service, what have you. But the valuations that are based on the construction, on the sale of these homes and prices for the next 15 years will not ultimately be going to our local government. That is what I want to declare in my mind. So for the next 15 years, fire service, police service, what have you, street service, I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm assuming that this area is annexed into the city and they will be receiving all the city services that I receive.
Yes.
Okay, so the street sweeping, the street maintenance and so forth and so on, all of those expenses will be subsidized by the rest of the community until this TIF is satisfied.
Yes.
Okay. I understand your needs, and I wish you good luck with it.
Thank you. I understand your point as well. My hope is that the people that are providing services in the community, it might be teachers, it might be nurses, it might be police officers, law enforcement. Hopefully those folks can benefit from this project, and we find a little easier time to recruit and retain those people here in Hot Springs.
I'm hoping that the increased business and increased sales taxes and so forth, the community will benefit by these having people in. Right. As a taxpayer, you have all heard, you have heard, everyone in here has heard, when we bring more people to the community, it lessens the tax burden on all of us. And I've got to tell you, that's total BS. We have not seen that. Our taxes have gone up, but on the other hand, we're also seeing a community that is losing people. So
typically the costs continue to go up.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you so much for your time and for the chance to get this all clarified.
Thanks for the good questions, Bob.
I have a question. So, the 15 years that the taxes don't get paid, that starts when somebody builds a house. Granted.
I'm going to ask.
And you have to sell the lots. And you have to sell the lots before people start building.
That's correct.
Do we have any takers so far, or is this land going to stay barren for years? Or is the hospital building houses?
You know, those are all valid questions, Craig. We believe that we will have takers, we'll have purchasers. At this point, right now, you've probably heard about the rural health transformation dollars that have come to South Dakota. We're hoping on the workforce side that we can provide some incentives to bring people to us or retain current people. And maybe some of those dollars could even help attract folks to these homes. So on the hospital side, I don't know exactly where all that will land, but there's some opportunities to pursue those.
Well, I know you said that you couldn't get employees because of the housing, but you're banking on them coming here to work for you and then build a house in the meantime, because there's not going to be any houses there for them to move into.
I may have to have Georgia come up and talk a little bit about, she's our board chair at Fall River Health, and she's been part of these discussions for quite a while now.
For one thing, we have quite a few people driving from Rapid City. What does that do for our income and our sales tax? It does not give us any. We want the people to live here. We want the people to come and want to be part of our community. We want them to have the kids in the school. Our population in the school has dropped considerably. If we're 58 years old, which I am plus, I do not have children in the school anymore. What does that do to everything? Our teachers don't want to come. We can't pay them what we'd like to pay them. This is the instrument that we can use to build our community. How many of you guys worked at the VA? We saw, when I was on the school board, we had almost 1,470 kids in the school. We're down to 600 and some, I think. I can't even remember what the number. What does that mean to everybody here? They're not going and buying groceries at the grocery store. They're not having kids in the school because either, well, there's a lot of issues going there, but I'm not going there. We want them to live in our community. If they live here, they buy their groceries here, they pay sales tax on their gas. What better way for us to bring that income? This is what we have to do for our town, our community. And all I'm saying is we are the instruments to make it happen. I don't know if there's anything else. Anybody have any questions? How do we get the houses built? Well, Craig, number one, I don't want little houses.
That's fine. I'm just
I
saying.
don't want a house that, I live in a house that has one floor because I'm older. We can go in and out easily. Workforce people have to work. They have to be able to work, get in and out of these houses. And who's going to build them? We have the option for people to buy these lots and build them. We do in our packet that you saw. We have some requirements. We are not going to build little houses. We're going to try and make them affordable. The way we can do it as hospital board is to make sure that whatever we do here in the town, in the community, makes it so everyone wants to come here. We have a lot of people that are living out of town, but then use our nursing home and our hospital. We have to have everybody come and want to use our hospital. That's our goal. That's our mission. When we have good people that work here for us, our mission is satisfied. And that's what we want. We want good people. So if we want somebody to come buy this lot, and we have some people here that are interested, we're going to say, come and do it.
The only reason I ask is, say a doctor moves here, wants to work at the hospital. He's going to have to rent something for a year while his house is being built, and there ain't a lot of rental places in town. People's asking all the time if they know anything about the rental property. That's the only reason I'm asking if there's going to be houses for them to move into when they come here.
I hear you, because I do have some rentals. I have people call me, I don't even advertise anymore. But we have doctors that come here and turn us down because they can't find a place. If they're too far out of town, if they're on call, that doesn't work. So yeah, we want it so the doctors can live here, and if they want to live next door, that's their choice. This is about choice. And for us to be able to furnish that choice, we have a lot of different options we can go through. CHAD, our company that our group that it's a committee, and they're going to make sure this works. If it works for everybody, that's what our goal is.
Well, I think it's a good idea. I was just asking that question.
You want to buy a lot? Greg, come on.
No, thank you.
You can build a house.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
I was hoping Don would build 4 or 5 of them so people could move right in.
Am I correct that builders will be able to buy these lots, build a home, and then sell them ready to move in to the doctors?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's the answer Craig was looking
Yes,
for.
it
There
is.
will be homes.
It is. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Georgia. Any other questions?
I'd like to address my fellow council members here. Some of you may or may not know that I'm on the CHAD committee, and you know that I study things. And I have studied all this. This is a good deal for Hot Springs. This is something we need to get behind, support, and approve. And I'd ask you to consider that very seriously. Thank you.
Thank you.
So for me, there's just a couple questions still hanging, like to get some clarification on from Bob's questions. You were asking about commercial owner occupied. It's a residential A, so it won't be commercial, they will be owner occupied. Am I misstating that?
They could be rentals.
It could be purchased, developed, and then rented by whoever purchases the property. So that would be a misstatement.
To be clear, there are two classifications in South Dakota, not three, ag and non-ag. These properties will be NA, not ag. They become owner occupied when the person living in it owns it and occupies it. Does that make sense? The fact that it's an RA does require it to be a residential district or similar to a residential district, which is what you would see in the PUD draft. Those guidelines are involved there.
Okay. And then Bob, you'd also asked about what the new valuation would be once 51 units are built. Am I remembering that correctly?
I was wondering what the total assessed, what the estimated assessed valuation once this project is completed. Yes.
And Quinn, am I looking at the correct page, page 24? You've already mentioned this number, that the new total valuation would be $17,235,000.
Yeah. When we do single-family housing, we essentially just put the estimated number or valuation of the homes as non-eligible project costs.
And I came across that number, but I believe in this document, I recall seeing a current valuation for Hot Springs.
So it would be page 24. It's in the peach color. That's the valuation that we're estimating. It's also the non-project cost number because it's essentially the vertical structures of the development. That 17 million could certainly be more. That's a conservative number.
But when we were looking at these earlier, when I say we, when I met with Toby and Jeremy and Georgia, there was a current valuation for the city of Hot Springs that was referenced. So I'm looking at what the current one is and what the new one would be, because as we all know, primary sources of our revenue are from property taxes and taxes. And it seems to me that, if I'm remembering correctly, we're almost doubling in valuation.
Well, it's page 8. TIF, your city of Hot Springs taxable value is $42,655,000. I mean, that 17 million by the time the TIF is expired is likely to be substantially more.
Okay.
What are you basing the 17 million on?
The estimated cost of vertical structures, they're non-eligible project costs for a TIF. So if you build a home on it, the TIF's not going to refund you for the vertical structure. It's just strictly the infrastructure associated with the entire development. So when we do our assumptions and projections, we have to put in, we're going to say $300,000 home. Well, so many of those end up being 17 million. And those are non-eligible project costs according to the law.
All right. Thank you. Council, any other questions? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Gary Telkamp.
Yes.
Deborah Johnston. Yes. Dave Burris.
Yes.
Craig Romey.
Yes.
Linda Varvel.
Yes.
Bill Luken.
Yes.
Randy Graham.
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. Congratulations.
Yay! Ready, set, go.
So, breaking ground in April?
The The weather's good tomorrow.
All right, thank you. On to our next resolution, item B. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2026-11?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-11, a resolution amending the 2026 top of steps and hourly wages for all full-time employees effective February 18th, 2026.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Resolution item C. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2026-12?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-12 to amend the fee schedule for Southern Hills Golf Course tournaments.
Second.
Randy? Bill, you appointed Randy?
Yes.
Discussion?
So how much are the fees going to be?
$48.
Is that up or lower?
We actually removed the fee. Jill believes inadvertently she did not mean to remove it from the version you guys approved effective January 1st. This is equal to the cost of a 9-hole round. Effectively, it's a bulk discount when a tournament brings in that many golfers.
I thought
So-
we raised the
so
rates on the golf course.
It is up from the tournament fee of last year, if you're wondering, but it
But
went
a
away
tournament-
completely and then was added back.
A tournament, we're going to give everybody a break.
That is the intent, that we will get more golfers at tournaments if they're paying the 9-hole rate rather than the public rate.
We also squeezed in the removal of a $25 temporary sign fee that was never implemented. Another omission or error, adding that fee. Our ordinance doesn't charge a fee. We never intended to charge a fee for temporary signs. We're not quite sure how that got in there. So if you review your resolution, in addition to the tournament green fee, we're removing that sign fee for temporary signs.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The motion passes. On to new business. Can I get a motion to approve new business item A, acknowledge a letter to be sent for public comment?
Make a motion to acknowledge a letter to be sent for public comment on October Jinx Exploratory Drilling Project.
Second.
Discussion? Ariel, I believe you put together a number of different resolutions that council had previously passed.
I did not put together those resolutions. That was 2017 and 2021, I believe, when you guys committed to protecting clean water for the city. I just took a lot of the statements from that resolution, put them into a nice little letter with some comments I'd heard and some of Sarah's talking points.
And when I mentioned you put them together, not that you drafted those, but you brought together the different documents that support the public comment. Any questions?
You did a fine job.
Thank you. Thank you, Ariel. Of course.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. New business item B. Can I get a motion to set a public hearing on March 16th at 5:40 PM?
I make a motion to set a public hearing on March 16th, 26 at 5:40 PM to discuss proposed ordinance 1284, revising Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 155, Zoning Code 155.033, Airport Zone, AZ, Part 77, Airspace.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. New business item C. Can I get a motion to set a public hearing on March 16th at 5:50 PM?
I make a motion to set a public hearing on March 16th, 2026 at 5:50 PM to act on the on-sale liquor license application from Dave the Superfood Truck LLC, doing business as the bunker to be used at 635 Jensen Highway.
Second.
Craig?
Thank you.
Discussion?
So is this like the third thing they've been asked for?
The third license, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the expensive one, though, Deb.
The one that we only have one of.
Why'd you say it was 50,000?
The minimum is 50,000, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion on new business item D? Appoint Councilmember Deborah Johnston to represent the city.
Make a motion to appoint Councilmember Deborah Johnson to represent the city during the 2026 Consolidated Board of Equalization meeting.
Second.
Whoa, everybody agreed on that. I didn't get it.
Well, it wouldn't be right to ask Deb to second herself.
Did you get it, Dave? or-
Randy?
I don't know.
Okay.
Do I abstain from this one?
You don't get any money, so you already agreed to it.
Oh, publicly, you're okay with it?
I'm okay with it.
All right.
I've had practice now.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item E. Can I get a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the software as a service agreement?
I make a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the software as a service agreement with Census USA.
Second.
Did you get Linda?
I did, thank you.
Discussion? This was on a previous agenda, and it needed further discussion. So Ariel, could you update us on what you found out?
Yeah, I stuck a short memo in there. This is related to our 2026 budgeted project. We approved $135,000. We've been calling it the Tower Project all this time, but it's basically advanced metering infrastructure. It will be the tower that is constantly reading the meters, so we'll know same day if you have a huge leak or a break of sorts. This is an agreement for their software. It basically outlines that we get to use their software, we don't own their software, and it outlines how quick they have to respond to problems, things we're responsible for, they're responsible for, etc. So there's no cost in this agreement. The cost we pay will be to Core and Main, not to Census.
I have a question. If you have a break between your meter and the main water line, would it show up on this?
No.
Okay.
But hopefully it shows up in the ground.
Yeah.
You won't be billed for it either because it's not going through your meter.
Right.
So.
Okay.
From the meter to the street, the city's got to take care of that.
Correct.
My meter's in the basement.
Well, it depends. There are instances where I believe we draw the line at the
curb.
The curb stop, or there's a million different pieces to that, so.
If you have a curb stop.
Right.
I don't.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item F. Can I get a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the revised and restated use agreement?
I make a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the revised and restated use agreement with the South Dakota Department of Public Safety Wildland Fire Division for the emergency use of the Mueller Civic Center, which supersedes and replaces prior agreements approved by council.
Second.
Discussion? So I think the explanation would apply to the next new business item G also. Ariel, Misty, anything that you can update us on here?
As you know, we've been working with the Department of Public Safety, Wildland Fire since before Jacqueline left, to finalize these use agreements, and thought that we had the wording correct on their side and on our side the last time you approved it. As it was going through review by the deputy secretary, there was a recommendation to remove the disaster relief coordination as they only, it's not all emergencies, it would only apply to wildland fires. That's all they have the authority for. So those are the changes that you'll see between the documents. That same secretary also wanted to remove the language that we asked to add since the Mueller Center is a rented facility, because we had an outside agreement and we asked them to put that back in. Instead of having a separate section, they put it in the use section that identifies that the city does have the right at any time to say, I'm sorry, it's not available, or you can use it until this date because at this date it's rented for something else. And that decision will be up to you as the council at the time if it occurs.
And I think that the reason we had that original language in there is because we also have an agreement with the Red Cross to use it as a shelter, and we wanted to be able to coordinate usage, and so we can still coordinate that usage, but the terminology is where they want it now, so.
Correct.
I have a question about being able to utilize it for those emergencies when we don't have power backup.
Patience.
Patience?
Patience. Working on
They
it.
have to bring their own generators.
Working on it.
Okay.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item G. Can I get a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the revised and restated use agreement?
I make a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the revised and restated use agreement with the South Dakota Department of Public Safety Wildland Fire Division for the emergency use of a portion of Butler Park, which supersedes and replaces prior agreements approved by council.
Second.
Discussion?
I think we need to revise the map, Exhibit A. The curve part from Canton Avenue to 11th is 11th Street, not South Dakota Street. If we put their use availability to South Dakota Street, you'll be including the houses across the street there from Butler Park.
Isn't it just the yellow?
South Dakota Street is actually a block back, so it should,
Oh, you mean a
it
block-
should say
a block to the-
11th, yeah. It
Yeah.
should say 11th Street where it says South Dakota Street.
I believe the Department of Wildland Fire got this from Google. So it's probably a change we need to get a hold of Google to do.
We'll just make
That
sure
is-
they aren't parking in those people's lawns.
And that is the secondary part of South Dakota Street. There's two sections of South Dakota Street. I live on one and this is
Oh,
the
yeah,
other.
after the turn, yeah.
So is this right or wrong then? Do I contact Google?
It's wrong.
It is wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
That yellow area is a non-use area anyway, so.
Okay.
But South Dakota Street should actually be 11th Street. South Dakota is a block up behind Canton.
Is it written that way in verbiage?
No. This refers to the
Exhibit A.
So the map is just a referral of the area?
Yeah.
Then I don't see why we would have to change anything, as long as the verbiage is correct.
It's just a matter of updating the map appropriately.
Yeah. As long as the verbiage is legal and correct, then we can go ahead and pass.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item H. Can I get a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the intergovernmental contract for the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance?
Make a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the intergovernmental contract for the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance, SDPAA. Changes include addition to language in Article 5 clarifying no member shall have more than one representative serving on the board at any one time and reformatting the content for Article 9, which does not change or alter the prior version's language nor intent.
Second.
Discussion? Misty, anything else you want to add?
No, I think it's in the motion. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item I. Can I get a motion to approve the following automatic budget supplements?
Make a motion to approve the following automatic budget supplements. $600 to the Southern Hills Golf Course Fund, Pro Shop Building Repairs, 620-45130, 42520, and $250 to Golf Course Building Repairs, 620-45120-42520, $3,556 to the General Fund, Parks Department Building Repairs, 101-4520-42520, and $2,296 to the Water Fund Building Repairs, 602-43350-42520.
Second. That was very well done.
Thank you. I didn't even lose any teeth on that one.
Before you vote, I failed to add to the motion more words for you to say. The revenue was received from the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance claim number GC 2025-125372 related to the wind damage.
Amended to say that.
Second on that amendment.
Thank you.
I'm not going to write it
Good
down.
job.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion.
Aye on aye.
The motion passes. New business item J. Can I get a motion to approve a travel training request for the Hot Springs Police Department, Chief Ross Norton and Captain Kenneth Ayers?
I make a motion to approve the travel training request for Hot Springs PD Chief Ross Norton and Captain Kenneth Ayers to attend the 200th LET graduation in Pierce, South Dakota on March 6, 2026.
Second.
Gonna do some
Gary?
recruiting?
Gary, did you get JR?
I think he was
Okay.
before.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And our final new business item K. Can I get a motion to approve a special sale alcoholic beverage license application from CS Inc., doing business as Winter Circle?
Did anybody write it all down?
I'll do it. I make a motion to approve a special sale alcoholic beverage license application from CS Inc., doing business as Winter Circle for the Taste of Hot Springs Chamber Awards Banquet event to be held at the Mueller Civic Center, 801 South 6th Street, Hot Springs, 3/14/26.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to our committee reports. Administrative and Finance, JR, Gary?
Admin Finance met at 1 o'clock on Monday, February 9th at the Mueller Civic Center, 801 South 6th Street, Hot Springs. Call to order at 1 p.m. Present, Main Street Arts and Crafts, Sherry Largent, Lynn Mason, Frank Mason, Gerald Culligan. Hot Springs Volunteer Fire Department, Tyrell Clark, Bob Evans, Seth Stevens, Ken Tonsanger. City, Gary Telkamp, Deborah Johnson, J.R. Huddleston, Mayor Bob Nelson, City Administrator Ariel Allison, Finance Officer Misty Summers Walton. New business, Hot Springs Volunteer Fire Department contract renewal review and negotiation for 3-2 council meeting. Discuss the requested property transfer, need for quarterly meetings, council updates, and annual increases. Committee wants to ensure that ensure open communication between city and Hot Springs Volunteer Fire Department and is okay with a 3-year agreement for that reason. Recommend forwarding to legal and then to council for approval. Main Street Arts and Crafts, MSAC, request to waive the discount, waive or discount their park fees. Discuss the request and the precedent this would set should the council waive any fees. Discussion on contributions and improvements to the park by MSAC. Economic value added. MSAC will bring financials and more information to the next admin finance meeting. Billing dilemmas with the wastewater treatment plant bond surcharge. VA and state home lack of meters. Seasonal shutoffs, lawn meters, vacant homes for sale or abandoned, and commercial users. This is bumped to our next meeting. 2026 employee wage discussion. Review memos from both Misty and Ariel. Consensus of the committee is to recommend an additional 40-cent increase to full-time employees and discussion on setting a formula for determining cost of living allowance for future years, and we'll have that discussion during 2027 budget planning. Note that this additional 40 cents falls within the set 2026 budget. Our next meeting will be March 9th at 1 p.m. here in the Mueller Civic Center. All are requested to attend. Any questions?
I just want to jump in and say that the fire department contract did not make it in time for this agenda. We hope to have those changes for the next agenda.
And with that, the Main Streets Arts and Crafts Festival found funding and is no longer requesting we waive fees.
Good.
Gary, anything you want to add?
Correct, the best of my recollection. Good job.
Council, any questions?
Thanks, sir.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you. Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management, Craig?
My meeting was set for tomorrow night, but the Mueller Center's busy, so we can't have it. So it's either set for the 2nd or the 9th of next month. They haven't said it for sure yet.
Thank you. Historic Preservation, Deborah?
Historic Preservation meets this Wednesday, March 4th, 5 p.m., and we've changed our meeting place to City Hall.
Thank you. Parks, Recreation, and Beautification, Linda, Randy?
Our next meeting will be Wednesday, March 4th at 1 here at the Mueller Civic Center.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Deborah?
Planning and Zoning met Wednesday, February 18th at 6 p.m. Present were James Forboard, Wayne Hageman, Christine Heidebrink, Ty Hill, myself, Bill Lukens, Tracy Bastian, Gary Telkamp, Wesley Foss, Ariel Ellison, and Cole Broadwell. Under public comments, Cole Broadwell discussed need to build a garage on 301 South 5th Street. Committee discussed the variance procedure and requirements with Cole, determined to come in and fill out the application with Wesley and bring a survey. The committee decided to set a hearing in case this works out. Public hearing was, and then there was a public hearing at 6:10 on Ordinance 1284 Airport Zone Part 77 Airspace. James opened the hearing at 6:13 p.m. Ariel placed the airport map showing Part 77 airspace on the projector. Bill Lukens spoke to explain the Part 77 airspace, reiterating, "We are not concerned with what happens on the ground, homes, barns, grain elevators, etc. The Part 77 airspace begins at 150 feet and goes up to a 20-to-1 ratio to the outermost height of 350 feet. So that's a cone shape going up and out. This ordinance adds language that allows us to monitor and permit tall structures like cell towers or wind turbines for FAA approval. A memorandum of understanding with the county will come next to allow us to use extraterritorial jurisdiction. The hearing closed at 6:22 p.m. Under old business, number 1, barn owl vacation of right-of-way drainage update. Waiting on the owners to agree and draft drainage covenants before we issue the final occupancy permit. Then vacation of right-of-way can move forward. Number 2, discussion on floodplain ordinance. Discussion and clarification on floodway versus floodplain, and that structures can be rebuilt if destroyed in a flood while residing in a floodway. There are options such as raising foundations, permanent foundations for mobile homes, etc. And then there was a motion by Christine, seconded by Don, to recommend approval of Ordinance 1284, ordinance revising Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 155 Zoning, 155.033 Airport Zoning, AZ. And number 2, motion by James, seconded by Ty, to set up P&Z public hearing on 301 South 5th variance for March 18th at 6:10 p.m. There were no other comments or discussion, and the meeting adjourned at 7 p.m. Next meeting will be March 18th, 6 p.m. at City Hall.
Any questions for Deborah? Thank you. Safety, Bill, JR.
Safety Committee met on Thursday, February 5th, 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center. Present were JR, myself, Deborah, Gary, Mayor Nelson, Chief Norton, City Administrator Ariel, Safety Coordinator Tracy Bastian, Fall River County Emergency Manager Dar Coy, and Assistant Emergency Manager Gary Baker, Fall River Health Services Quality and Safety Manager Renee Staley, and by phone, South Dakota Game Fish and Parks Representative Trenton Halfley. One member of the public, Abby Thompson, was present. I'm going to amend the minutes. We thought we had some really good news from Trenton regarding a state-managed antlerless deer hunt for the city. The day after the meeting, I got an email from him, and I'll read that note that says, Bill, we just got word from our admin that our upper admin and commissioners are not currently in support of an archery hunt focused on the removal of antlerless mule deer at this time. We can circle back in a few years if mule deer populations in the surrounding area begin to recover, but for now the focus should be on hazing and harassment, as well as feeding reduction and education. So at the time of the meeting, it looked like the state was going to administer an antlerless archery hunt. So we will circle around, and it appears we can still have a city access antler-only hunt for people that have archery tags, valid archery tags. We will discuss that in our April meeting because we had several areas on Southern Hills Golf Course that were designated hunt areas, but we want to bring Jason in on that discussion to see if those areas are still valid. We've already at last council meeting discussed the traffic ordinance discussion, so I'll go to updates. And again, Chief Norton gave us an update on their activities, so I'll move on to a real highlight from Tracy and Ariel. The 2025 safety statistics were reviewed. In 2025, we had 7 incidents reported. which included 3 injuries requiring some sort of medical treatment, 3 near-miss incidents, and 1 vehicle incident. Workers' comp paid out $41,000 in claims across the 3 injuries. The 3 injuries in 2025 is a reduction from 10 injuries in 2024. So that is a very significant reduction, and I want to congratulate all the city workers for this very significant improvement. That's huge. That took the city from a very ugly total recordable rate, which is calculated by the number of injuries times 200,000 divided by hours worked, down to a very respectable total recordable rate. So
our comp rate went down.
So yes, that will drive our experience modification rate down, which will then improve the premium we pay for workers' comp insurance. So good job, everybody.
Good. That's very good.
Emergency Manager Dar Coy reported that Code Red is going away. That had been hacked a couple times, and so it's being replaced with a app called Everbridge. That's being used by Pennington County, and it's also compatible with iPause. Code Red will be active until April. That's it. iPause and now Everbridge is what the county will use to notify anybody with a cell phone of an incident, whether it's an emergency, significant closure, significant activity. One of the great things about iPause is you don't even have to subscribe to it. If you have notifications on, you're going to hear about it. So, whereas Code Red, you had to subscribe to it, and so this is going to be much better. We had no employee safety concerns reported, and so our next meeting is this Thursday, March 5th, 1 p.m. here at the Mueller Center, and the February meeting adjourned at 2:41 p.m.
JR, anything you want to add?
Good job.
Any questions?
Free? Yes, well, free to the user, not free to the county. And I think there was, in the paper, there was some discussion that DAR had with the commissioners on the cost of Everbridge.
What time's your meeting? 1?
1 o'clock.
So they won't be asking the city to start throwing in some money too?
There was no indication of that.
Thank you. Public Works, Dave, Craig?
Craig, you want to do her?
Go ahead, Dave.
Okay. Public Works Committee meeting, 1 p.m. Regular meeting, Tuesday, February 24th. Those in attendance were Mayor Bob Nelson, Deb Johnston, Gary Telkamp, Tracy Bastian, myself, Craig Romey, Jason from Wastewater Treatment Plant, and Ariel Ellis. We adopted the agenda. Nobody from the community was there other than those stated. Old business, ordinance 1281, chapter 94, streets and sidewalks, contractor bonds and trenching permits. Discussed that after several months of going through this. That was approved. Also, ordinance 1282, chapter 110, licenses, insurance requirements, and project valuations. After months of going through that also, we have approved that. Ordinance 1280X, Chapter 70, Traffic Regulations, Alternative 1 and 2 Recreational Vehicle Parking Enforcement through November to March. We went with recommendation number 2. That was approved. And that will be coming to the council as...
In the near future.
Yeah.
Hopefully next meeting.
Okay. Number 4, 2026 free dump dates. Dump date A will be June 8th through the 12th, Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday will be at 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Secondary date will be September the 12th, a Saturday, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we approved those. See, what else do we have? Public Works Director gave us a update on the Minnetonka Bridge, and I guess a slight faux pas on during its construction. We will have to have some sewer main repair done, but that'll be done through the contractor. It's on the bridge. Code enforcement, Wesley had a meeting with one of the citizens of the community, so he wasn't there to give us an update. And our next meeting will be at 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center, March 24th, a Tuesday at 1 p.m.
Dave, could you restate the June dump days?
Sure. June, on the first run, will be June 8th through the 12th, Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. On those same dates, it'll be Tuesday and Wednesday, time change, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Thank you.
Anybody want to add anything? Ariel?
And the Saturday date.
What?
Just want to say the Saturday date.
Oh, September the 12th, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
So that first week in June, that's the normal schedule they follow. And a few meetings ago, we reported how the September free dump week is normally less attended. So we decided to try a Saturday option. We're going to see if we can get some more people through there. Hopefully do some more cleanup and just give this a test run.
Greg, is there anything you want to add?
Is there any, did anybody check and see if the landfill's open on Saturday? Or are we gonna just leave them in the trucks?
Billy is planning to leave everything at the shop Saturday afterwards and then take it all to the landfill Monday and Tuesday.
Hopefully you got enough trucks if it's busy.
We decided that if we get full, we're just gonna shut down.
Okay.
So.
Okay, thank you.
But I think
So don't come at 3.
I think
come at 8.
Saturday will be a good option, just due to the fact that more people are off on that day.
Any other questions? Thank you. City Administrator, Ariel?
I want to thank you all for moving the PUD and the TIF forward. I think this is a big win for Hot Springs. I've been pursuing a recreational trails grant through Game Fish and Parks, hoping it can maybe fund construction sooner than the TAP grant on our historic staircase project. Our wayfinding signage is on track. We got the first proofs on Friday, and we're hoping to have them ordered and installed before summer. We're working closer with the Chamber this year on the Balloon Festival, and we're excited to showcase aviation in our community again. I'll have more on that in the near future. And finally, I want to give a congratulations to Wesley, nominated for Citizen of the Year, and our streets crew, nominated for Community Pride with the Chamber Awards. The Community Pride nomination reads, Billy Morrow and his crew have worked hard to create a clean, well-maintained, and safe community. They clear snow, empty garbage, repair damage, set up for parades, and decorate for holidays. They take pride in their work and in their city, go above and beyond to help the community projects. Wesley's nomination reads, Wesley Foss is the city's building inspector / code enforcement officer. He's identified residential areas that are in need of help / fixing up and tries to help. The landowners attain resources, there shouldn't be a comma there, tries to help the landowners attain resources to make the improvements necessary in order to meet the code and the neighbor's satisfaction. He is working with Habitat for Humanity to bring their services to Hot Springs so that the residents have access to home improvement and beautification grants at no interest. He also plans to start a local nonprofit to address ongoing residential beautification projects. I know this is thankless work and the community only sees a fraction of what they do daily. In my book, they're already number one.
Congratulations.
That's all I have.
Any questions? Misty, Finance Officer report?
That's not my report, but we couldn't be prouder of our city employees for the work they do. And we mentioned it to them at the department head meeting, and I'm glad you mentioned it tonight as well. You should all have my monthly finance officer report. The financials are only through February 25th, so might not include all of the month of February. If you have any questions on any of these, I'm happy to answer them. As usual, this early in the year, we see a lot of red or a lot of losses in each of our funds. We anticipate that. It's part of a normal budget cycle for us. I don't see anything that stands out at this time to draw your attention to, but if you see something you'd like to discuss, please let me know. As far as our investment reports go, we were able to secure a 3.417 rate on our water debt service reserve U.S. Treasury bond with SD Fit when it matured. And then our next maturity is the Evans Plunge Mineral Springs Debt Service Reserve Treasury bond, and that will be April 23rd, 2026. So I'll get some rates for you. I anticipate staying in the bond market with South Dakota Fit will be the most beneficial, but I'll present those to you at a later date. I did in my memo address a comment made at a council meeting, I believe in January, regarding local purchasing, and I wanted to share with you the considerations that we take. The city does value supporting local businesses to the extent that we wrote that into our procurement policy. We do encourage staff to shop with local vendors whenever feasible. However, purchasing locally is not always practical, cost-effective, or an efficient use of employee time. I give some examples that I personally experienced in doing the janitorial shopping for the city of Hot Springs. I do like when council asks questions and they look at the bills, so I'm certainly not telling you that you shouldn't do that, but please reach out with specific questions regarding specific purchases whenever clarification or additional information is needed so we can get it to you. I talk a little bit about the wage adjustments and 2027 budget considerations, and most importantly, I want to point out that I need some specifics from you if you're looking for something different to be done next year in our budget considerations for 2027. I'd like to have those conversations before I begin estimating. A lot of work goes into getting to the table where we start having those conversations. So I'm encouraging each of you to consider and communicate what the approach you would like recommended for 2027 budgeting to be discussed before we start doing that estimating. And not just as far as wages go, I welcome a discussion on any recommended changes for any of our budgeting forecasting. I addressed the SLFRF Closeout Award. It's been so long, the mayor didn't even remember what that acronym was. It was related to the COVID or CARES or ARPA money that we received in 2021, and I have complained, as I've done the quarterly, semi-annually, and annual reports for that money that we spent right away at the beginning and we're ready to close out right away. I finally got the approval to file a closeout on that grant to no longer have to report the same thing to the government over and over again that we have since that time. I have submitted the report. I haven't gotten the acceptance of the closeout yet, but I am excited to have finally reached the end of that. If anybody wants more information or doesn't remember what we use that money for, it's also in my memo. We are doing a domain conversion. If you haven't checked your email, Ariel sent out a nice email explaining that we should not see any problems as we convert our domain from the .org to a .gov. We have done the work to register it. We were not able to get the hs-sd.gov, but we did get hotspringsSD.gov, and our IT assures us that we'll have a seamless transition, and that's supposed to happen next weekend. If you have any problems with your email after that, please be sure to let us know. I laughed about the same, JR, when he said that. I do provide a 2026 municipal election update. This seems like a really long period of time for Working on the nominating petitions, it is because of some legislative changes they made last year. I failed to include Ward 4, Gary Telkamp has also submitted a complete and certified petition. So we have Robert Nelson, mayor for a 2-year term, has completed and certified petitions. Larry Pratt, Ward 1, 2-year term. William Lukens, Ward 2, 2-year term. J.R. Huddleston, Ward 3, 2-year term. And Gary Telkamp, Ward 4, 2-year term. I do believe that serving as an elected municipal official can be a highly rewarding way to contribute to the community, influence local policies, and ensure decisions are transparent, fair, and effective. And I'd like to point out, I think good reasons somebody runs includes a genuine desire to serve, improve local services, and leave the community better than you found it. I do appreciate each member's input, thoughtfulness, and commitment to our community. Your engagement and care make a real difference in the work we do and the outcomes we achieve together. So thank you for that. And then what didn't make it into my memo, but I would like to share tonight, since the city follows the state, Governor Roden announced administrative leave be granted for both Good Friday and Easter Monday. Those fall on April 3rd and April 6th this year. So the city will also follow and grant administrative leave days to employees for those 2 days. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
And the 6th would be a council meeting, so that'll be the 7th.
Thank you, Ariel.
Any other questions for Misty? Misty had mentioned the SLFRF fund closeout. Full disclosure, I did ask her if she could remind me what that one was. That one might have closed out last month, and I still would have forgotten. So the fact that it was COVID money didn't contribute significantly to my forgetting it. Just real briefly, I want to echo what Ariel and Misty have already said, that, and we talked about it at the last council meeting. I appreciate you folks stepping up and giving this the city employees the last 40-cent raise. Thank you for that. Billy and the crew and Wesley are prime examples of why they deserve that additional pay raise. And all the city employees do it. They all do wonderful work, starting with the ladies in City Hall that are the first ones to deal with the public when they're not so happy with something the city has or hasn't done. We've got great employees, and it's good when they get the recognition. So I would echo what Ariel and Misty had said as far as the nominations by the chamber. And that's all I have for you, unless you have anything for me. So with that, going to get a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion, we go into executive session in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2-3, legal.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. There'll be a pause before we meet again in executive session, and there will be no action taken when we come back.
He's still talking.
To himself. I'm sorry.
You can tell, and I just stand right back up.
Saving the knees, huh?
Who's he talking to back there?
All right, we've got enough of us here to pass a motion to adjourn. Let's have us back at 8:56, and can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion with adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Have a good evening, everyone.
He's still talking.
To himself. I'm sorry.
You can tell, and I just stand right back up.
Saving the knees, huh?
Who's he talking to back there?
himself.
All right, we've got enough of us here to pass a motion to adjourn. Let's have us back at 8:56, and can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion with adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Have a good evening, everyone.